Hi, boys and girls. I hope that you're enjoying learning about time. So, we're going to do a quick review about the hands on the clock and how to tell time. And then we're going to jump into what we call elapsed time. All right. So, how do we figure out the hands on a clock? So, there's two little secrets. One, we look at the thickness of the hand, and two, we look at the length of the hand. All right. So, here we have these two long hands. Okay, so look at this one. This one is actually extra long because it has this tail in the back here. All right, so this hand goes around the whole clock in 1 minute. So this is the second hand because there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So this thin second hand is the second hand, and it is on some clocks, but it's not on others. All right, then we have the next longest hand here. And this hand you can see is thicker. It's all the same thickness, whereas this one is what we call tapered. It goes from skinny to fat or fat to skinny. But this one is all the same, and that is the minute hand. And this minute hand goes around the whole clock in 1 minute because there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Okay, and then we have this short hand. You can see that the short hand is also thicker than this minute hand, and that is the hour hand. So important that you know which is which, because if I had this on a quiz and you wrote the time was 4:40, that would be incorrect. So you have to know the difference of the two hands. Then another thing, another trick to help you is if you think about the word hour, HOUR, and the word minute, MINUTE. Hour, the word is shorter and it goes with the shorthand. And minute is a longer word and it goes with the longer minute hand. All right. So here we have just our kind of quick rules to remember and to remind us of how we tell time. One, we need to know the hands. So look at the hands first and figure out which one is the minute, which one is the hour. Then start at the 12 right here and find the minutes by counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20. And if it is not exactly on a number, then you need to add in the ones. 21, 22. So I know it's 22 minutes in my time. And now I need to find the hour, which is right here. And if you look at it very carefully, it's not even on a number. It is actually, if I trace my pointer back and forth, it's between the 8 and the 9. So the rule is you have to go to the hour number that is behind the hand. And that would be, in this case, the 8, because it is behind the hand. Okay? Whereas in front of the hand would be the 9. And usually, not always, like up here when we're talking in between the 12 and the 1, usually that number is the lower number. All right, let's go on. Elapsed time. That's our main focus today. What is elapsed time? Well, here's a quick and easy definition for you. It is the time between two specific times, a start time and an end time. So we want to know the stuff that's in the middle of the start and the end. That's elapsed time. That's what we're going to work on today. So here's some examples that we'll work on. And Julie started watching TV at 5:20 p.m. She watched for 30 minutes. What time did she finish watching? So the first thing I want to do is I want to identify my key information, her start time and her end time, which I don't know. And I know that she watched for 30 minutes. That is the time, elapsed time that passed in between. So now we are finding the end time. So we have the start, we have the elapsed time because we haven't figured that part out yet, and we have the end time we need to find out. So I'm going to write my notes here. I know she started watching TV at 5:20, so I write that down, and I do not know the end time. We're going to figure that out. So using clocks, if we were in school, we would use clocks right now. I like to get my hands ready. So my clock now is showing 5:20. I have my hour hand between the 5 and the 6. And my minute hand, this long hand, is at the 4, which represents 20 minutes. If I start by 12, count by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20. So that is showing accurate time. Now, to make my end time, I need to move the hands of my clock, those 30 minutes of elapsed time to figure out her end time. So I'm going to put my hands on my second clock here. and I'm going to slowly move my minute hand for 30 minutes. And to make sure I'm accurate, I'm going to count by fives. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I'm going to stop. That's 30. Now I need to figure out what is my elapsed time. So like I said, I like to find the minutes first. So I'm going to put my thing on my 12 here, and I'm going to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And my hour hand is between the 5 and the 6, so I go to the one behind it, which is the 5. And so my time is 5:50 p.m. Easy, right? Let's do another one. Matthew got to the store at 9:30 a.m. He was in there for 15 minutes. What time did he leave the store? Well, I like to look at my information here. I have my start time. He got to the store. I have my elapsed time that's given to me in this kind of problem, and that he was there 15 minutes from the time he got there to the time he left. But I don't know what time he left. That's what I need to figure out. So let's write our notes down. All right, and like I said, if we're at school, we would be using clocks. So let's put our hands on our clock. And now I have to go back to my question. It says he was there for 15 minutes. So I need to count by fives for 15 minutes. Let's put our starting time on our clock, and let's move our hands to match the time that he was there. So here we go. I'm moving the minute hand, which is this long hand, remember. Here we go. 5, 10, 15. Oh, stop. And that's when he left the store. But I don't know the time yet, so I need to count that. So I start at the 12 again, and I go to the, let me find my cursor, 12, and I go to the 1, which is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Ooh, that's my minutes. 45 minutes. Now I find my hours. So I look at my other hand here. It's between the 9 and the 10. So I go to the one behind it, which is the 9. So the end time that he left the store is 9:45 a.m. All right, one more example here. I started on my walk at 3:20 p.m. I walked for an hour. What time did I arrive home? All righty, so here we once again have our start time, but we don't have our end time, but we do have the time in between, the elapsed time, which is 1 hour. So I need to take my elapsed time and figure out what time did I get home. All right, so I'm going to put my hands on my clock. So I have my minute hand on the 4 to show the 20 minutes, and I have the other hour hand between the 3 and the 4 because it's in between 3 and 4 o'clock. All right, so now I'm going to put my hands back on my other clock, and I need to go 1 hour. So here's a little side note, right? When we go 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, that minute hand goes around starting at the 12 and goes all the way around the clock. All right, and that was probably backwards for you, all the way around the clock. All right, and then that mini hand is exactly back on that 12 for the next hour when 1 hour has passed. So I'm going to use that knowledge when I'm starting at 3:20 and I'm going an hour. So no matter where my hour starts at, I know my minute hand is going to be in that exact same spot from an hour before. So I'm going from 3:20, and then I'm going to travel starting at that 4. Let me find our cursor again here. I'm going all the way around that clock for 1 whole hour, because even if I count it again, it would go like this. So I need to get to 60 minutes. So here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Boom. So that is an hour, 60 minutes. And then my new hour, then it has to go to the next hour, which is 4. So our end time of my walk was 4:20 p.m. All right, so let's look at ones on a number line, because this will be our main focus to help us find elapsed time and for another video. So here we go. I began working at 8:15 a.m. and worked for 2 hours and 5 minutes. What time did I finish? So I have our start time. I have our elapsed time that passed, 2 hours and 5 minutes, and I need to now find our end time. So on a number line, I start with our start. I start at 8:15 a.m. Now I need to think, okay, I'm traveling 2 hours and 5 minutes. So I'm going to do bunny hops or frog jumps, whatever you like to call them. So I'm going to break that apart though, and I'm going to do it hour by hour, minute by minute, or chunks of minutes, I guess. And I could do it differently. I could do all the hours together, but I'm going to break it apart for you. So I'm going to go 1 hour. So if I hop 1 hour, that is going to bring us to 9:15. Okay, but I'm not done yet, right? I have to go 2 hours and 5 minutes. So I need another hour. So here we go. Another hour will bring us to 10:15. I did another bunny hop. I added in another hour. So now I have 5 minutes left. So I have to do our last bunny hop, and I'm going to do all 5 minutes because that's easy math for me. So I do my bunny hop of 5 minutes, and I add 5 minutes to my time, and that'll bring me to 10:20 a.m. And then I stop, right? Because I did 1 hour plus 1 hour is 2 hours and 5 minutes, and that's how long I worked for. So my end time now is the end, 10:20 a.m. Easy, right? Yeah. All right, let's look at another one. Joey started his walk at 4:25 p.m. He walked for 25 minutes. What time did Joey finish his walk? Now, this one might seem easy for you too, but I'm going to break it apart, and I think I could do it in 5 increments of 5 minutes because 25 I can break apart into 5. I could have done it into, well, let's just do it first. All right, so I have my start time, and I need to find my end time using that elapsed time in the question. So here we go. I'm starting at the left side of my number line with our start time of 4:25 p.m. Now I'm going to hop 5 minutes at a time because I know I can get to 25. So the next 5 minutes, I bunny hop, that will bring me to 4:30. Now I do another 5 minutes to 4:35. So I'm up to 10 minutes. So let's do 5 more. That'll be to 4:40 p.m. Now I need more. 4:45 p.m. And let's just double check here. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, I need one more. 25, and that brings us to 4:50 p.m. So that is the end time of Joey's walk. Now, I could have done this a little quicker and done bunny hops of 10 minutes to bring us to 4:35, another 10 minutes to bring us to 4:45, and the remainder, which would be 5 minutes, to bring us to 5 or 4:50. But either way is correct. Or if you're really good at it, you can say, oh yeah, I know I can get 20 minutes in here, and that would bring me to big bunny hop, 4:45. That's 20 minutes, but I still need 5 more and then bunny hop the last. All of those are great ways to show the time passed to get to your end time. All right. Oops, and I think that's all I have for us. All right, well, thanks for watching this short video about elapsed time. We're going to do a better or more advanced elapsed time video tomorrow where you actually have to find the time in between the start and the end, where the elapsed time in the middle, like this one, where I have the elapsed time of 25 and I didn't give you the end time. You're going to now have the beginning time and the end time, and you need to figure all of these bunny hops in the middle. Kind of like, I remember this is like counting backwards for change or counting up for change. So stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Bye.